Oh, what it do? It's your boy O2, and we're back at it with another podcast, guys. Welcome back to the channel, man. If you're here for the podcast weekly that we're trying to do as best we can, I know my producer, he's every other week, so I'm trying to pick up to where he leaves off. Appreciate you guys for joining. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button because we're closing in on 500 subscribers, and I'm doing a giveaway. I'm saying it if you don't watch my Fortnite episodes or my shorts. I'm doing a giveaway, V-Bucks giveaway. Multiple people will win on my channel once we reach that 500 subscriber milestone. So we're climbing the ranks, man. We're at over 300 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. It means the most to O2, your boy, your Fortnite aficionado, your gamer. But you clicked on this today. We're discussing pros and cons of gaming genres and what that entails. But we're going to start a little slow. We're going to dip our toes in. I just woke up recently and had a cup of coffee, and I'm still a little tired. How about yourself?
Nice slow morning. It's been a nice slow morning.
Yeah, nice slow morning. So yeah, we're tired, and we're still doing the most with the podcast. So we appreciate you joining us. Whenever time you happen to be listening or watching, because it is on YouTube, and you can see our beautiful, ugly faces. No, I'm just playing. But real quick, I do want to shout out my humble plug that I always do. I'm a thriller fiction author on top of many things, an artist, musician. You can, if you name it, I could probably figure it out and do it. Especially in the creative area of life. I paint, I draw, do tattoos, the works, guys, the works. But talking about pros and cons of games and gaming genres and specific, specifics. Is that the right word? Specificity, guys. Word of the day. Specificity. Let's Google it. But I do think it's pretty important to talk about, especially since we're a gaming podcast, and that's what gaming podcasts do. There's not many gaming podcasts out there that I know of. Everybody knows of Joe Rogan. I watch Your Mom's House. Shout out Your Mom's House. Shout out Mommy Segura, Tom Segura, Mommy Jeans, and Big Mama, Christina P. Shout out my baby. And shout out to Unc Shine too, guys, man. Be sure to subscribe to Your Mom's House. That is the best podcast out there if you're looking for just a brainless, retarded, fun, and funny podcast. But we are a gaming podcast, and I'm trying to push the forefront of gamers talking, so that's kind of the idea behind me developing my podcast within my gaming YouTube channel. O2 does the most. So I think that just the lack of the presence of gamers talking. There may be some out there. They're not in my algorithm. Most of my YouTube algorithm guys, you're gonna laugh. It's a bunch of like philosophy shit and excuse my cussing too. I'm a cusser. I'm a sinner, guys. Gosh, where was I at? I am that tired, guys. I am not playing. I'm that tired, but I do appreciate you guys for joining. What was I talking about?
YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, my YouTube algorithm. On my phone, it's music. When I get on the TV, it's philosophy and all kinds of stuff. It's all over the place. Like what would happen if, humans became zombies and things to go to sleep. Philosophy for things to go to sleep too. So, yeah, my YouTube algorithm is very weird. That's why that FYP for you page, once you start looking stuff up, stuff starts getting into your algorithm without you even knowing it, and next thing you know, you're watching things you didn't think you would come up on because of what one video leads to another. And the algorithm, not many, a few out there probably know how it works, but I don't. But I do know that if you watch one thing, more of it's going to show up. But on the case of pros and cons of gaming genres, my wife actually sent me something uh, about some big genres that most people know about, and just a little bit of pros and cons. And now I've got my own little spin off on some of this. We do know that I did do a little bit of boobity research, guys, and found out that action/adventure shooting games are the most popular games overall, and only second to RPGs, role-playing games. That's games where you're gonna take on a created character, usually an open world. You could think the most easily that comes to mind to me is the Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Skyrim. Where is the Elder Scrolls 6 at, guys? Where? I am sick of the pushback. They were putting them out every 10 or 12 years, and it's been way past that point. But I digress about that. But let my phone not get off, guys, because I had some of the pros and cons brought up. But I am going to do a spin on them and talk a little more in depth and put my own spin and put an overall consensus on for games that seem to have more cons than pros, and how game genres could improve overall. It would be all encompassing. It doesn't just stick to one genre of gaming, and it came straight off the dome of your boy O2, guys. So with action games, you've got and a couple of these, the pros and cons are going to kind of coincide. They're going to be like repetitive, almost seem redundant. I guess some of them, not all of them, of course. But we're going to start with the most prevalent that a lot of people play. I would say, dare say most shooter games. You've got the Call of Duties. Just too many Call of Duties out there. But Call of Duties, you got the Battlefield, you got the Arc Raiders, you got so many shooting games out there that it would probably, real talk, it would take me about 10 minutes to list off every shooting game out there that's like popping right now. But there are pros to these shooting games, and for shooters, a lot of people say that shooting games in general, like, they could help. Some of these people could even become surgeons, perhaps, because it improves reaction times and spatial awareness. And I like to go as far as to say hand-eye coordination becomes almost synchronized. So, like, you're not even, like, once you get super skilled with the game, you're doing 4, 5, or 6 different operations on the controller. We're talking consoles, guys, because we're PlayStation people. You're doing multiple combinations of button pushing as you're playing the game and not thinking twice about it. So that is definitely a pro to the shooting games, that your reaction time's improved. You're anticipating the next shot from an enemy, an opponent, especially a multiplayer. Spatial awareness. You're aware of your surroundings. You're panning that camera around, looking for the next person to drop and protecting your own tail feathers, so to speak. But shooter games, and this was a thing like 10 to 15 years ago, especially among the religious community, but I think it kind of branched off into the general population too. People were saying that shooter games were making kids in the younger generation more violent, more aggressive. Some people were, I will be honest, some people were more susceptible than others to act out this violence, especially with games that promote violence, kind of like the Grand Theft Auto series. I mean, it's literally a game about committing crime and getting in trouble with the law. So there were some instances with that back in the day, but I don't think it's the majority. I don't think it's the majority. I don't think most people get on a game and they're like, hey, I want to act this out in real life. Because most games are larger than life. Well, Grand Theft Auto is one of the most realistic, in this reality at least, of crime is real. So, I mean, and it's fun to be a bad guy, I guess. It is. Grand Theft Auto games are fun. I've was a fan back in the day when like Grand Theft Auto 3 was out, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I'm that old, guys. Yeah, back on the PS2. Not to say I've played Grand Theft Auto 4, a little bit of Grand Theft Auto 5. Guys, I've got better things to do with my time. But for those that love it, hey, it's fun. But that's your shooter game thing with the pros and cons. I don't think it necessarily makes people more violent, but overall on a general consensus, but it can. And I feel like these people that play the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, all these shooting games, these first person shooters, I do think there's a certain segment within the people that are a little what would you call it, tools, so to speak, assholes. You know, there are these middle-aged working class men that come home, they're mad at their wife, they're mad at the world, they hate themselves, they project it onto others, and then they get onto the game and continue in their negativity. So I fell off of Call of Duty back probably, man, I don't know when, honestly. One of the Modern Warfares, maybe World at War. I stopped. By the time Advanced Warfare came out, I was completely done with Call of Duty. Sorry, guys. I'm not a Call of Duty person. There's just been too many reiterations. They come out with, they just, think about it. Black Ops 7 is out. And that's just one of their, I guess, running themes. There's other Call of Duties out there, many, but yeah, the Black Ops 7 is out, and you got Battlefield 6 that is out. Now they have less titles because they haven't been around as long as Call of Duty, but they're definitely making leaps and bounds in just the 6 games that they made compared to Call of Duty. It's taken Call of Duty damn near 30 games to get it to where it's almost as good as Battlefield 6, from what I hear, guys. But moving on to pros and cons about other gaming genres, guys. So with stuff like strategy games, and this encompasses a lot of games, so I'm not gonna be able to just spit off just a bunch of games, because strategy games can actually intermingle with other genres. But pros to these, you develop critical thinking, which is good, planning, and long-term strategy skills. And that can help in regular life. So causing your brain to think. When we use our brains, it's always a good thing. It fights off dementia, Alzheimer's, all the fun degenerative diseases of the brain. But the cons about these kind of strategy games, especially, when I think of strategy, my brain goes straight to like the Civilization games, where you kind of got to think about how you're going to dominate the world and win the game, because you can win, like, at one point it was like win 3 ways. You could win by domination, economic rule, or make it to space, some kind of spaceship or something. Those are really fun games. I don't think I played the latest one that came out, but it was very fun. But a con can be that some can be so complex and have a steep learning curve that many gamers give up before they get to the end of the game. So for people that want to get on and just shoot people brainlessly, use their reaction time, use their instinct, so to speak, tend to not like these kind of strategy games. But there are others that within this genre that also account for a shooting game, or another genre, so to speak. Excuse me, guys. The weather. I have a sore in my nose from the weather change. It got cold. It got hot again, and I don't know what the weather's doing. The weather's bipolar, man. Real talk. Action games. This could encompass shooting games too, but action games, I think of like Uncharted. You think of things like Infamous back in the day, Infamous 2. I don't think anything. Infamous, the original, was amazing. It was ahead of its time. It was a PlayStation exclusive. I need to look back and see if it's on the PlayStation Store. You guys leave in the comments. Is it in the PlayStation Store? I'd be willing to play it again. It was so fun. Because you didn't have to have there was no med kits or stuff like that. You literally had to absorb electricity from something electrical to like heal yourself. But action games, it says it improves reflexes and speed of decision making, which is good because that can be incorporated in life as well. Being able to go from being indecisive to quickly making decisions on a whim. And within the game, it actually helps because if you're playing a difficult game, you've got to be able to make decisions on the fly. And that includes Fortnite too, guys. We will get to Fortnite eventually because it is an action game and a shooting game. But cons, it can lead to decreased accuracy on other tasks immediately after playing. That's the thing about gaming. Like, you get into a mode, you get out of it, you're still in gaming mode, but life is happening. And I think you get kind of stuck in that gaming mode mindset. And that can be a con in and of itself. Some people spend too much time on games. They live their life. That's their baby outside of their work or their responsibilities. That's all they do. And you get your sweats on every game, which I would actually say is a con for all games. The people that live on a game, so you get on 2K and you go to the rec, you play a match, and you're playing with some sweats, and maybe you don't hit every shot, but you put up 20-something points in a rec game, but y'all still lose because the team just doesn't have the chemistry. And it's because these sweats, they're ball hogs. You know what I'm talking about, guys. The toxic players that won't pass to you unless you green every time. But I think that's a con for everything, man. Every game, every genre. You've got the sweats, the diehards, the people that sit on the game. As soon as they wake up, they turn it on. They don't get off until nightfall and maybe play through the night, man. These are the people that I'm talking about, the boys in the basement and the girls. I hope there's no girls in the basement. But you got puzzle games too, and this is another. We think of Tetris, and this is funny because IGN, International Gaming Network, has stated before that they would prefer Tetris, even though Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. That IGN would prefer Tetris over Minecraft at times. What? Did you hear that? Run that back. I'll repeat it for you so you don't have to. IGN has been quoted as saying, you can look it up. Don't believe me. Don't take my word for it. Test everything yourself. IGN. This is a well-known and well-established, been around for decades now, that they actually prefer Tetris. Tetris, guys, I had a little blue screen phone back in the day that had Tetris on it. It was my favorite version of Tetris. Promise. I could get one on the PS5 and it would not be good as that blue one on the phone because the controls were so good. It worked. I mean, I got super high scores. But puzzle games, you improves accuracy and can lead to better performance on other detailed tasks. So this would make you more detail-oriented. You would see the details in a game, maybe perhaps even an open-world game, and the puzzles within that. Because you got like the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. There's puzzles within those games. There's puzzles within the Uncharted series. There's puzzles within a lot of games out there that you come upon that's not necessarily the bulk of the gameplay, but they're trying to add diversity within the gameplay so you're not just doing the same thing throughout the whole game, especially story modes and campaign modes. The cons of that, it results in slower task completion. That procrastination, man. Puzzle games, I always get stuck, and I have to get on a YouTube channel to find out what to do next if I get flabbergasted, befuddled, kerfuffled. Guys, that's a real word. Look it up. Kerfuffled. I get kerfuffled when I get to a puzzle that I can't crack. I'm not a great puzzle person to begin with. I look at a jigsaw puzzle, and if it ain't Jigsaw himself, John Kramer, I burn out real quick. I look at a puzzle and I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. And I know we're talking outside of video games, but when you bring it into the video game atmosphere, it can get difficult. Some of these puzzles they set within games that aren't necessarily puzzle games, it does get maddening when you can't figure it out. So that procrastination or delay in completion of the game can be a con, but overall, I think it's a good thing. Good thing to exercise the brain. And another big one, guys. So we talked about a little bit about shooting games, but role playing games, RPGs. Most people love role playing games. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like the Elder Scrolls. Come on, guys, and more. There's more out there. I do have not a narrow worldview on the games, but I do have biases on what I like and what I would talk about the most from my experiences in the past. But pro from for role playing games is provides complex narratives and character development. Yes, role playing games, man. Especially you think the Elder Scrolls, you can become whoever you want, and the narratives are so big, the storylines are so big, there's so much to do, so it becomes this other world, and this other world, man, can cause you to it gives the gamers the experience that they really want. Now some people shit on RPGs just because they're either not good at them or they don't understand, or maybe it's overwhelming. It could be overwhelming for many. You get in Oblivion, you're like, good God, what do I do next? And you can go any way you want. And I think the freedom might scare some people. Just like in real life, I think real true freedom actually scares people. But RPGs, the complex narratives, it feels like real life. You know, people's got lives in these games. You're taking part in it. You're doing quests. You're hunting stuff. You're doing you name it, man. It's like real world, but different world. Maybe not real world, but different world, but another world in this reality, in the virtual world, which is fun. And I think there's more pros to RPGs, man. The leveling up system, they usually have a leveling up system. They're super fun to play. They make you think. There's puzzles within them, but man, there's hidden gems within the game. There's just so much to do in a RPG that I feel like you never can fully finish the game. You know, that's a big thing. But a con for RPGs, they can be very time intensive due to the depth of the game. Because usually RPGs, the game developers spend tons and tons of time and effort and pour money into developing these games. These games usually take years upon years upon years to develop, to be able to push out to the public, to be able to play, so that people can enjoy it, man. Just makes me think of Oblivion and Skyrim and all the books that you can read on there. Some of them are long, some of them are short, but still, just the details. I appreciate the details that game developers put into these games that make them so fun. The time-intensive thing, that's where you're going to come into putting many hours into the game instead of taking on responsibilities and or just living life and going out and touching the grass, so to speak. Simulation and sports games, pros, it can teach practical skills and improve strategic thinking, going kind of correlating with the puzzle games. But it may require a significant time investment and can sometimes be repetitive. Yes, 2K is repetitive. Now, while they've made it more realistic that no two games are exactly the same, you ain't got to play it the same way, and in fact, different teams, and on multiplayer mode, the rec, theater, the park, you're going to play with different people that play different ways, so you're going to have to develop different kind of strategies to beat your opponent. So, and it goes further than just NBA 2K, Madden, FIFA, NHL, MLB, all the sports games out there, guys. These practical skills, they get you ready. Almost, Gran Turismo literally raised a gamer and turned them into a racer. Remember the Gran Turismo movie? That guy, the guy that actually drove for the stunts of that movie, started out on Gran Turismo playing the video game. The physics of that game are so realistic that you can correlate it into real life and teach somebody how to drive. I know a lot of y'all are going to shit on Gran Turismo, You're gonna hurt my feelings. I don't care really. But cons, it may require another significant time investment and sometimes be repetitive as well because racing games, it is trying to, like, such as Gran Turismo, it takes that a lot of time to perfect the craft, especially with getting your super license on there on Gran Turismo 7. Can't wait for the next installment, but don't know when that will be. Haven't looked it up. Leave it in the comments if you know. But you do get better over time. Sometimes repetition is required to become good at a game. Let's see what else I have on these games. But general pros and cons. The general pros overall for games, they can improve problem-solving skills, spatial reasoning, and teamwork skills. And that's specifically true for online gameplay or co-op. If you have games, there's many games out there that are co-op, guys. They provide a safe space to explore emotions like frustration and anger. Get your anger out on the game and leave it at the game. That's a good idea, right? That's actually healthy, guys. That would be a coping mechanism, and many people do use it as a coping mechanism, guys. But general cons, guys. Excessive play can lead to social isolation. That's where I get that term, and it's kind of jokingly, but kind of not. The guys in the basement, the people in the garage, the sweats, we like to call them, definitely can lead to social isolation, which can lead to mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, and many more negative mental health symptoms, which leads me into the next con, which can cause physical health issues. You should not be sitting on your ass 8 hours a day. You shouldn't. You're supposed to sleep about 6 to 8 hours a day. That's enough time to be on your ass. Any more, you're pushing the boundaries, guys. We need to be active. You got to go more than just go touching the grass, guys. You have to exercise. You have to move your body. We are a bipedal species, meaning we walk upright. If we were four-legged, it would make sense to sit around a little more, but we are two-legged. So we're supposed to be moving, guys. If you're not currently employed, be exercising. Put time into your physical body because it is important for physical health. A lot of people wait until they're in the hospital dying before they care about their physical health and mental health, guys. But for physical health pertaining to gameplay, specifically video games, can cause eye strain, headaches, and a sedentary lifestyle, like I had mentioned. And this can contribute to problems like obesity and high blood pressure. And high blood pressure, you say, well, you're not exercising if you're not exercising and playing video games. And high blood pressure from the stress. Fortnite is a stress-inducing game, guys. I'm not going to lie. It is a stress. To win consistently like I do, you always have to be stressed out. You have to be ready to win. You have to be ready to either run up on a third party to win, be escaping a party. I might be down a teammate. My wife may be down, and I'm having to face two people. What would you call it? The opportunities and the options and the different ways that Fortnite can end leave you with so many ways of thinking, what am I going to do next to be able to win the game, So I think you agree with that. But we're going to end out on my own little thing. And this is what would add more pros to a con-filled game. A game that's frustrating, and this could go across all genres. We're not sticking to one gaming genre. But this was not researched. This came straight from the mind of O2, who does the most, guys. I doeth the most. I compiled some things. I put some thought into this, guys, so I hope you appreciate it. Maybe take it into consideration, and potentially it'll help game developers if they see this. I doubt it, at least at this point in time, till I get more subscribers. But I appreciate all the subscribers and all the support from you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys do the most by hitting that subscribe button and viewing my channel when you do, and sharing with your friends. Be sure to share with your friends because, like I said, at 500 subscribers, we're going to be doing a V-Bucks giveaway where multiple people will win. This is another little quick promo. Multiple people will win V-Bucks, unlike the last giveaway where one person won. And I'll do another giveaway at 1,000 subscribers to celebrate huge to become a Fortnite affiliate. But to get into what would add more pros to either a con-filled game or a game that's just so frustrating that you're like, I like this game, but I hate to love it. So I've compiled a few things that you could add to a game. And these are just general. That's why I said it doesn't fit just any one gaming genre. But we're going to start with number one. Gameplay needs to keep the player engaged. If you got a game that has you guessing at the beginning and 30 minutes to an hour in, you're still kind of like, what the hell's going on? You start losing interest, or it's too difficult. You can't even get past the intro gameplay or whatever it is. People are more apt to just try another game. So you got to be engaging. You got to grab attention too. You got to grab the gamer's attention. And also it cannot be too difficult because you're walking into something new, especially with a new game, something that isn't just a reiteration or a second, third, fourth, fifth of a game and so on. Another thing, gameplay should present this kind of springboards off of the first one. Gameplay should present a reasonable challenge without being too difficult. So you do want to challenge the gamer because there are seasoned gamers that can hop on a new game that's got its own kind of genre that's kind of a blend of maybe shooter, action, horror, or you can mix them up and concoct a cocktail of. There's games out there, man, that Splitgate 2 was one of them. I hate that the beta went down, but it was a mix between like Halo. Gosh, I'm trying to think. It was a blend of multiple games, but Halo. I definitely had Halo vibes, but it was definitely a mixture of like a couple other games I can't think off the top of my head right now. But yeah, you don't want the game too challenging, but you do want to add that little layer of challenge to get players involved. Because I'm not gonna lie, most gamers do want a challenge. If we're being honest, guys. And then another thing that would add, that would be good for games is room for advancement. You always want to, as a gamer, I always want to feel rewarded for what I'm doing within the game, whatever game it may be, and that could include a reward system, a leveling up system, or perks to the game that help you as you progress through the game. So I think that would help a lot. And this one should be a no-brainer. A good game should have unforgettable game moments. Stuff that you still talk about to this day that you played 10 years ago or you're playing right now that you'll remember 10 years from now. Games should leave an impression on you that you'll be able to talk with friends for years to come. Even after it's old news, it's still something you can talk with friends about. Even go back and play and enjoy again, guys. That is a big pro for a game. The replayability that we mentioned in the Fortnite, why we love Fortnite so much podcast. That was our last podcast, episode 5. Be sure to check it out if you did not. Watch all my podcast videos if you have not. And another big one, for those that like multiplayer, the ability to play with friends online. Games are funner with friends. I say funner, more fun. It doesn't matter. Games are fun with friends, and if you're able to play with them, it makes the game even funner, especially if they're decent at the game too. If you're having to carry the team, it does become a little burdensome, but gaming with friends is fun. Now, the RPGs, a lot of them aren't multiplayer. Some of them are, but the ones that aren't, that's where that social isolation can kick in, guys. But with the ones that aren't, and just in general, just overall, again, like these are my pros that could add to any genre. Being able to play with friends on any game is fun because you're getting to share the experience together. They always say 2 is better than 1, especially with puzzle solving. I need help on puzzles all the time. My wife's great, much better than me with puzzles. And yeah, I think playing with friends is a plus. There's no con to that. I don't think, unless your friends are mean, toxic, and ugly. Uh, but another thing about Minecraft, so it is the best-selling game ever, which is kind of like, I'm a skateboarder, guys. I don't skate as much as I used to in my younger years, but Vans, everybody knows the shoe brand Vans. It's the best-selling skateboard shoe, and I'm going to tie this in. You'll see real quick. We're at the end of the podcast, but don't click off yet. I'm not done talking, guys. Vans is the best-selling skate shoe yet. To me, as a personal skater and some of my friends that I skated with back in the day, not many of us wore Vans skating. Now, I know we weren't West Coast, East Coast. We're kind of landlocked where we're at. But even though a game is the best game, a shoe such as Vans, doesn't mean it's the best shoe or game out there. Vans tear apart very quickly. They've got a vulcanized cup sole. It's not a cup sole, it's a vulcanized sole. But they're terrible shoes. The board feel is terrible. And if you're a skater, you know what I mean about board feel. Board feel is very important when you're trying to get a specific trick down. Same thing with Minecraft. Just because it's the best-selling game, it's still blocks, guys. Building blocks. It's Legos for adults and kids. Kids play this, but you've got grown men and a few women possibly, but men playing this game. And I'm going to hark on it for a second, guys. Come on, guys. It would be more beneficial to play with Legos than to get on Minecraft. I'm just saying. And I'm not trying to take a big, fat shit on Minecraft. But do folks get bored and get on Minecraft to fill that void? Or is the void Minecraft? I mean, Minecraft may have sold the most units as far as gamers buying in to play the game. It's now $20 on the PlayStation Store. But, okay, they've got the survival mode and stuff. And you got creative mode where you're able to, from what I understand, I played way back in the day on a mobile device. Like a tablet. But beyond that, like, you're just building things. And I feel like they could create a better, more realistic version of Minecraft. And there may be something out there. I don't know, guys. Leave it in the comments. I'm always open for stuff that I don't know. But I do feel like Minecraft is just one of them games that, like, it is one of them, I guess, feel-good games. If you're wanting to build something, a big old house, some kind of aircraft, something whimsical, something wild. It's cool for the creative area, and the creative flair for some people, but ultimately it's blocky, and I know graphics are not everything in a game. They're definitely not everything. It doesn't make or break a game, in my opinion, but it is kind of maddening to see that that's the best-selling game. That's what people go to. But I know there's a lot of kids that video game, but I do know grown adults who play Minecraft, and it's cool and all, but again, it goes back to that. I feel like Minecraft is one of the most socially isolating games if you don't have a friend group out there. If you do have a friend group, hey, you can get in a creative map with somebody and you can have multiple people in there helping you build something. You got a project going on. Hey, that's amazing. But alone, guys, it's a little of a bummer of a game. I'm not going to lie. But I feel like Minecraft is a con in and of itself. It shoots itself in the foot with meager graphics, meager gameplay for what it is. But yeah, so there's some pros and cons of the bigger genres of games. You got your shooting, you got your action. If you wanted to step into a little bit of horror, I guess the cons would be a lot of times the gameplay is a little bit loose. You can get lost easily. The pros is a lot of times the scares and stuff are just as good as a movie. Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Dead Space. Trying to think of some more. That's just right off the top of the dome. and there's plenty more out there. The Saw games, they made 2 Saw games back in the day that were very fun. You were in traps that you had to get out of. You felt like you were in the movies. It was fun, but the cons of those games were, on the first Saw game, you had to use a lighter. You had to flick a lighter in the dark spots. You couldn't hardly see. So and the traps, you were not told how to do them. So a lot of times I was on YouTube trying to figure out how to get out of the trap when I would get stuck, because it was difficult. Puzzles are hard for me, guys, and so are words. But I appreciate you guys for watching this podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, man. Like I said, when we get to 500 subscribers, we are doing a V-Bucks giveaway for Fortnite. So get your Fortnite friends over here, man. Let them know about us. Let them know that O2 does the most. And also, check out my thriller fiction books down in the description below this video. They make great gifts for people in your life, the readers in your life. Perhaps you're a reader. Be sure to check them out. At the very least, read the synopsises. The links will send you directly to Amazon. I sell through Amazon. So I appreciate any support for people that buy my books or share them with friends or buy them for friends for the birthdays, the holidays. Hanukkah's coming. Thanksgiving's coming. Christmas coming. The new year is coming soon. It's sooner than we think. We'll snap our fingers and it'll be here. But, yeah, here's this week's podcast. Appreciate you guys. You already know O2 does the most. You have anything to end with? Over and out, guys. I will see you guys in the next podcast. Appreciate you for watching. Drop a like. Please, drop something in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you have another con that I didn't discuss? Do you have another pro for a genre of games that I didn't discuss? Did I not cover a genre? Did I miss one entirely? I'm sorry, guys. I'm tired. Leave it in the comments. I'm open for discussion. I love discussions. Leave your comments in the comments below. See you guys. It's been real. Over and out. Real talk.